So welcome back to the Freemilesmc, and we are today here back on the roads of Kosovo in Pristina, and we are like no one cares about motorcycles here in the slightest. It's basically like it feels like dancing around laser beams with the cars here, because you as a motorcycle rider being invisible is taken to a whole new level in this country. You're basically always just maneuvering around cars that ignore you and that also don't obey traffic law. Yeah, and we just had a look at that cathedral, because that's a cathedral, as you see on the cross on the top. Which is quite special, because this is a mostly Muslim country and region, and there was a statue of a missionary in front of it, but I couldn't find anything out about the missionary, as he didn't have a Wikipedia article. Yeah, and one thing I already mentioned in my later video, this place basically seems like the main market for Mercedes G-Class, as you can already also see over there. I mean, no one cares about traffic. We can get closer to it, then you can see it properly. Yeah, like, I don't know, half of those cars that are getting produced here are probably getting sold here. And also, as you see, everyone who drives a Mercedes G-Class in Kosovo does not care about traffic law. Like, that guy is going 90 in the city. We're going 70. And, yeah. And that's so wild. In general, it feels like Kosovo is a bit the Florida of the Balkans. Sometimes when I was like editing my video and looking out onto the balcony, you would see people like doing rolling burnouts and stuff like that. And also stuff that like legitimately takes skill. Like I was seeing a guy drift his motorcycle. Pretty sick stuff. And apart from that, we're today out quite late. It's already past 12. Because I yesterday worked on the video about Kosovo up into the middle of the night. It was like midnight, and I was thinking, oh yeah, just this last thing and then it's done. And last things kept popping up until the sun came back out. Because the sun rises here quite early and goes down quite early as well. So my biological clock is totally mixed up, and I slept in a bit to so that I'm completely safe on the bike and everything. And we will, with that, take a bit of a chill day today. And we have quite a wild day in front of us still, because we have 2 border crossings in front of us. Why is that? Because we're going to Sofia in Bulgaria, because one of you guys is renting me a motorcycle for a review that I'm really curious about. You guys can be stoked for that. But the problem is the road that would make the most sense would go through North Macedonia. But we shouldn't go through there because we're in Kosovo and we entered Kosovo through Serbia. So we have to enter back into Serbia to get my passport stamped out in Serbia. Otherwise, I basically could be considered an illegal immigrant in Serbia, because then I'm overstaying my visa basically, even though I'm not in the country anymore. Because Serbia doesn't recognize Kosovo. So they don't outstamp my passport, and it's like I'm permanently staying in Serbia. So we need to go back through Serbia. And because the Serbian border crossing last time was such incredible fun, I threw away my medication because I did not want to explain what antihistamines are to border control again. I hope that everything goes smoothly today, because my navigation app already told me that there could be some complications, and being able to cross the border between Serbia and Kosovo is not always guaranteed. And like I said in the last episode, the areas are a bit like of a political tension zone, basically the biggest amount of tension that you can find on the European continent. outside of Ukraine. So yeah, and let's make our way to the Serbian border.
A shame, think something new under the sun. You can't take back them things you already done. No. You blame things that you do on somebody else. No. But they all see is you need help. But still you try so hard to cover up your games. You try so hard, hoping that one day something gon' change. You waste all of your time covering up your tracks.
So we're now getting closer and closer to the Serbian border, and I have to say, as my time in Kosovo here is coming to an end, it's a very interesting country. Like, it definitely would allow for a longer stay, and maybe one day I will come back and do a bigger video series on it, because there's a lot to discover here. And one thing that's quite apparent, the people here in Kosovo are very mistrusting. One thing you gotta understand about these videos, I'm not just like riding around through Kosovo, I'm making YouTube videos about it. So I am constantly like setting up my little tripod, driving past the tripod, and that's always a little situation of confrontation most of the time. Because people see the tripod, walk up to it, and in some countries they then claim that they have found the tripod. That was a thing in France. France, really often people were like, oh yeah, I found it, it's now mine. And here in Kosovo it was more that they were like inspecting and seeing what I'm up to, and then engaged in conversation, but like never in the way of like, oh, what are you doing? More in the what are you up to way. And I now had a second time a conversation with a man he saw my German license plate and started talking to me in French because he was fluent and in that language. Also, first guy I met here who was fluent in French. Most people here who speak a second language seem to speak German or English. And yeah, he was very suspicious of me. He was like asking, what am I doing, where I'm from, who I'm working for, like those kind of questions. And also with his old Nokia, then took a photo of my license plate and of me. But he got spooked a bit when I just like looked at him and smiled for the photo. Yeah, I mean, he was obviously taking the photo as some kind of evidence for whatever I'm doing. Oh, camera's off. So we made it back into Serbia. This border crossing was quite chill. I talked with the border crossing guy a bit about football, and was not as complicated as the first time entering Serbia. Yeah, it's all good. So I currently pulled over here to make a little break because it's so incredibly hot. Yeah. And during my break I stumbled upon this beautiful motorcycle and this very old, I think, Golf Mark 1. So cheers to that. But all in all, I'm super curious what this motorcycle is behind me. Definitely seems to have like an aftermarket front headlight, but it seems to be modern but like vintage styled, but I cannot recognize the brand. So we're getting closer and closer to Bulgaria. Sadly have a bit of a headache, but the curves here and the roads are amazing. I mean, have a look at this. Ooh, this truck is also very quick. Oh, and I cannot see shit. Yeah, and we will probably arrive in Sofia in the dark, but because we still have about a 2-hour drive. But I have to say, I'm enjoying this at the moment, and after the really intense Kosovo video, I mean, like the video was intense in the way that I had to like really work a lot on it and research it, and was like very intense to make. Happy to have some curvy roads here, and currently enjoying that a bit for myself without constantly putting up the camera. Whoops, bad road well leaned over. Let's go. But as you can see, the speed limits here are ridiculously low, like 20 and 30. They really often still have these older trucks here. See them all the time. Oh, the curves here are so wonderful to ride through. Woohoo! All that with this beautiful landscape. Oh, what a beautiful lake over there. That looks impressive. Wow. Probably cannot pick it up on the camera that well, but I mean, do you see that? That's insane. Wow, what a gorgeous view. Also, we have with the sun currently a really good moment where the sun shines so nicely on the water. So, we're still not in Bulgaria, but I just came through this village and I want to explore it a bit with you because it looks wild. With all little houses here. We have the church. That seems to be the old supermarket. You have here the old Lada. No, is that a Lada or is that a... I don't know the name of these cars, but feel free to write it in the comments. Yeah. What an interesting little Serbian village. Wild. Oh, look at the cute little cats chilling in the cardboard boxes. Hello. Are you guys sleeping? Psst, psst, psst. Ooh. Sporty little one. This one looks slightly grumpy. Let's not bother them anymore. They also want to just chill. Those cars right there look so interesting and cool, little 4x4s. The thing is, this village looks left behind, but this is not left behind. You can see that people live here in these houses. I'm guessing that the houses look like this from the outside, but they look completely normal on the inside. Also, I've heard from some of the locals that not having a fully finished house and like not having the facade made of a house can be a neat little trick to save on property tax. I'm not sure if we will make it to Bulgaria before the sun goes down. The German embassy page said to not do cross-country rides in the evening or after dark, but I think we will be fine. That's in general one thing. Like, Serbia is perceived as this country that is dangerous in a way. Like, if you tell people like, oh yeah, I went to Serbia, they look at you like, oh really, and how was it? Wasn't it dangerous? That's really often the view people have. And yes, Serbia has its little issues, but like from the reality of being in Serbia, there's literally nothing to worry about. Because at the end of the day, it still feels like very European. And if you put warnings like that on Serbia as a country, and also like with the medical support on the countryside, then you would have to put the same warnings onto Thüringen in Germany. And that's why I don't get it. Here's the border, I think. So let's wait until this guy is through. So, we are passing the border into Bulgaria. I don't know if I can now just pass that semi-truck, because he looks very parked. Oh, it's two trucks. I didn't saw. Let's move back. It's just a bit too impatient. Can't wait to arrive in Sofia and to just chill, lay down. And I need to research a video for tomorrow. That's why I now cannot watch Netflix or something later. And if I'm not completely mistaken, we are back in the EU as well. There's some weird stuff going on here on this border. For example, they spray the cars with water. I don't know what that's for. The vehicle basically here cannot like pass the border dry. Like these things that now stopped spraying, but you still see all the water on them. Now they start spraying again. So let's turn down the camera again because they don't like this stuff. So it took some time, but we got through without any problems. And we need a vignette. So next stop is a gas station. Oh, for fuck's sake. From the looks of it, I will be around 10 in Sofia. And then I still have to organize food and script the video for tomorrow. But the landscape here so far looks beautiful. It's amazing. So we finally made it to Sofia, and this is my place to stay. I have a little place to work, and yeah, the traffic in Sofia was terrible. It took me 45 minutes to get here because I was always getting cut off at the same exit. So I hope that you guys liked this video, and if you did, feel free to like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next one.